Funding for Shaperillis is provided by
Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. Okay, normally I don't review things when people ask me to do it excessively, because that's annoying, and I don't like to reward bad behavior. But Marcus did a little review of the movie, which means I'm the last of the apparently big three who hasn't done one yet. So at this point, I kinda have to, right? Okay, this is the one time I'll do a highly requested review. This is never gonna happen again. You got it? I'm not reviewing The Bad Guys unless you get my second channel, Shave Classic, to 100,000 subscribers before the end of December. You have less than 3 months. You better get on that. Transformers 1 is a movie that I thought looked cool. Conceptually and animation-wise, that is. I didn't really care much for the humor in the trailer, which seems to be a common sentiment. But I also didn't really feel like I needed to check it out right away because I don't care about Transformers. That's not meant to be an insult to the brand. I never grew up with Transformers, and the only things I've seen are the live-action Michael Bay movies. I hope that fully explains why I'm not really into Transformers. I mean, Bumblebee was pretty okay, but aside from that, yeah, it's not really a series I ever had any interest in. Fortunately, this is a great movie for people who don't care about Transformers, because it's a fantastic depiction of this world, with a really interesting story to boot. I'm a sucker for that best friends turned mortal enemies writing trope. And this movie delivers that in spades, with a really intense and compelling villain arc for Megatron. Definitely my favorite character in the movie. I think his turn makes a lot of sense, and he's got some great, dramatically potent scenes in this. Brian Tyree Henry gives a really strong and committed vocal performance. And I have to give Chris Hemsworth a ton of props as well for really disappearing into his role as Optimus Prime. He starts out as normal Chris Hemsworth with an American accent, which was very disorienting to hear. But then as the movie progresses, he starts to sound like the Optimus Prime we know, and it's a really satisfying transformation to hear. Hemsworth is really having a banger year between this and Furiosa, showing that he's a damn actor, and not just a pointless celebrity. You know, like Scarlett Johansson and Keegan-Michael Key were in this. Yeah, I didn't really like their performances that much. And while we're at it, Bumblebee is the only character I didn't really enjoy. His jokes very rarely worked for me, and that's most of the character. And while we're mentioning that, the movie's jokes in general were not that good. I maybe chuckled once or twice, and that was about it. Most of the humor is stuff you could see coming from a mile away. Like a character says, "They're not gonna fire you," and then another character immediately comes in and says, "You're fired." Look, I get it, that would be really funny if I was 8 years old, but like, I don't know, man. Animated movies for kids can also be actually funny for adults. Ah well, as much as the humor didn't really work for me, I was consistently in awe of the action. It looks spectacular, and it really had me on the edge of my seat at multiple points. And you really gotta give the movie this. It does not mess around when depicting some fairly heavy and mature concepts. The villain's plan in this is genuinely really messed up, to the point where, in all honesty, I was kind of rooting for Megatron to an extent. I wanted to see him achieve his primary goal, even if I knew ultimately he was gonna go too far and need to be stopped. I think it's a sign they did a really good job making his main conflict believable, but that doesn't stop his betrayal of Optimus from feeling absolutely devastating. There's a scene in the climax of this film that actually made me gasp. And it's crazy, cause I should have seen it coming. Obviously he was gonna do it because he's evil, and I know this. But damn it, man, they were such good friends, come on. If that's the reaction you can get out of a story development that feels inevitable based on future media, then I think that's a sign that you've made a damn good prequel. Whoo, man, what a movie. I was definitely a little mixed in the first act, mainly because the comedy dragged it down somewhat for me. But man, it just gets better and better the longer you watch, to the point where that third act had me floored. It's a great movie. What's his name on Twitter? He was totally right. I liked it. You should go to a movie theater this weekend and give it your money so they make a sequel. Do it. I need to hear more of Steve Buscemi as Starscream. He was only in like 2 minutes of this one, and I need more. 8 out of 10. And now for Squarespace. I don't have a better transition for that. I'm too busy thinking about Steve Buscemi's face. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Squarespace. Let's go. Squarespace is an amazing online website builder that enables you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. You can utilize their new design intelligence features to build an amazing, more personalized website tailored to your unique needs, allowing you to create your own digital identity you can use across your entire online presence. Squarespace makes it easy to sell all sorts of things like online courses, blogs, videos, and memberships. Put your content behind a paywall to get recurring revenue. Simply set the price and choose whether to charge a one-time fee or subscription for access. Plus, you can easily manage all your payments in one place with Squarespace Payments. It's super quick and easy. You can get started in just a few clicks and start receiving payments right away. Your customers can use tons of popular payment methods like Klarna, ACH Direct Debit in the US, Apple Pay, Afterpay in the US and Canada, and ClearPay in the UK. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/jfrillis to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.